Cricket Talks.
Yes, I do talk a lot. And today I've been doing it. For those of you just joining us today, I did another show on Rumble with Rambo and Friends, Frens, I believe. Great guys. They do a political kind of Q-based show, and they wanted me to come on and talk about all these things. Matt, I got to tell you, they blew my mind with some of the stuff. I don't know if did you listen at all?
I listened. It looks like you guys had a lot of fun.
We had a blast.
Great comments about you. So, thank you to Joe.
Yeah, he's on, they do it on Rumble and some other Pill or I don't know anything, some other website. But, it's all that crazy, stuff that I shouldn't say crazy. They made a lot of really wild points today. And like Joe Biden being a different guy, did you see? You didn't watch it.
I didn't see the whole thing. I caught a lot of it though today.
They showed pictures of Joe when he was the vice president, and like him now, and like he looked like a different skull.
That's a lot of those guys.
It's pretty wild.
Oh, you mean like a different skull shape?
Yeah,
like you remember when Obama came out, he had gray hair.
Right? No. Yeah.
This
was like they were saying it's a different person.
Yeah.
And the only thing I could do was like it looks like they're twins. And one of them's just older and peeing. Like, you just taking a pee. Like, he just had this old man wee face. It was weird. It was different, man. Yeah. But those guys were great. I want to thank them. I think they want to have me back. I don't know how much comedy they get in the
I think they like the comedy.
They loved it, though.
And we'll have to have him back on our show.
We're definitely going to have Joe on, yeah. His partner doesn't show his face. Like on purpose.
Yeah. Well,
but they're not like outlandish and stuff, but he's like, a lot of these guys like that come up with these theories and they feel like they're really telling the truth and that they'd be sought after.
It can be a dangerous world expressing your political opinion these days. You know?
Got that right, soul sister. Yeah. Ain't no doubt about that one. So, hey, I'm really excited today because, we like to talk to our friends and, people we love and admire.
Yeah. Yeah. Before we get into it, let's make sure we thank our sponsor.
Oh, Matt,
of course.
What would I do without you? Barnes Paving.
And in addition to that, people should like or subscribe to the new YouTube page.
Yeah, please
Brand new
do
page.
That. Yep.
Trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. I think we made it over 500 over the weekend, but
this is beautiful.
We'd love to have you.
Yeah, thank you. Brought to you by Barnes Paving. We are so thankful for the people at Barnes Paving. That's BARNES paving.com, or give them a call, 443-243-3710. There's no job too big or too small. Everything from commercial paving to residential paving, crack filling, milling asphalt. And they're even available for expedited services. They serve most of Maryland. They're incredible people. So give them a call right now, 443-243-3710. That's barnespaving.com, and that's Barnes with an E, BARNES paving.com. Joining us right now in the studio is a guy who I love personally. He's a dear friend. We have been friends for a long time. We'll talk about that.
Followed all his bands.
All his bands. Right? One of the most incredibly talented guys I know, from Child's Play, from Stone Horses, from Charm City Devils.
SR-71.
SR-71. You've had quite the run. It's Mr. John Allen. What's up, buddy? Yeah. Great to have you in here, man.
Good to be here, man.
Thanks for doing it. I know it's quite a drive for you now that you live a little further away than the neighborhood, right?
I do. I'm not in East Baltimore anymore. I am out in Howard County. And please, all my old buddies from Dundalk, start writing letters to President Trump or whatever, the Congress, get a new Key Bridge built.
Did it screw you up?
Traffic was horrendous.
Oh, no.
Coming up here.
Yeah, no, I know. We got to build that bridge. Yeah. Anybody that knows me and those that I was grateful when that some bitch fell. I hate them. But I can't do the Bay Bridge. I got to do it every other Sunday. I got to get a ride. Like, it's terrible. I can't do bridges. Yeah. Would you be all right if they just built another tunnel? Like, I would be fine with that.
Whatever, man.
Yeah.
Any old way to get through, yeah.
So, John, listen, we've known each other. We met, I think it was
1972.
If I'm doing this right, it was like 89. What year did you get
back
signed?
In the 1900s. Wow.
What year were you signed?
We were signed.
Child's Play.
Technically, we were signed in 90.
Okay.
We signed a letter of intent with the label in December or October of
89?
Yeah, 89
Yeah.
on the air with Russ Mutla.
And that's when you started doing the Wednesday nights at Maxwell's, right?
Right.
That's where
Well, actually, a year before.
that's
or
where
2
we met
years
then.
Before,
So
maybe.
88 is when I met you there. And you
Yeah.
were kind of getting Brian broken in from
we
going from guitar player to singer.
Yeah, we were. And we had interest in a record label, MCA Records at the time. And we needed a place to play like every week, just in case they wanted to come down. So like the A&R guy was interested in the band, but he had to convince his bosses because like I guess the bosses heard the demos and were like, nope, I don't hear it.
It's
So
not
the
for me.
Yeah, so the A&R guy was like, he brought his bosses down, check out the band. And those were the Wednesdays at Maxwell's. And we used to get them packed out by putting on these young bands and getting all their underage kids to come out to the shows. And all those guys that came out dug the band, and we were going to get signed. And then the Christmas holiday hit, and they fired everybody from the record label that was interested.
Is that
in
what
us.
went down? Because John, I swear I mean this sincerely.
Well, this is before we were signed to Chrysalis. This is before we had our major
I
deal.
see.
This
Okay.
is like a whole year
Yeah.
before that. Yeah.
Because sincerely, that Rat Race album, I'm convinced, should have been one of the biggest albums of the 90s. man.
Dude, he
Thank
laughs
just
at me.
every song on that album was a hit.
It's
Well,
right?
not every song.
Just
I mean,
about, man. Just about.
John, I've said this, and you always laugh, and you're like, whatever. That was a great rock album, especially in the year you released it. Like, it was a great album, and I know,
Agreed.
like, you still look back on it, I think a little bit like, don't you?
Well, it was it was really early on in my experience recording in the studio. We were a live band for years, that's where we came up, in the Baltimore club scene.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I mean, I listen to it now and I hear the flaws in it and whatever. But yeah, there's some magic there. And we're going to be playing a lot of those songs this Saturday at M3 at Merriweather Post Pavilion.
Yeah,
Diamond Dave, man.
Yeah, with
Yeah.
Diamond Dave.
Yeah.
John, when the first time I saw your band there on that Wednesday, like it's weird because that's right when I started getting into like hard rock. Because I was like a punk rock, new wave kid always,
Right.
and dance music. Because whatever.
Were you a break dancer?
I was.
Did you carry around cardboard?
I did. I did it
You
all.
should hear his Ocean City story, man. He made
Did.
some money down there.
I did.
Nice.
I made some money. I'm not gonna lie.
They
did
enabled
hard
you
to-
guys to buy those Ocean City hats.
No, we never had to
Those-
do that.
The zoot suits.
You son of a gun. You. No, we never had to do that. But it was wild because for me in those days, like rock bands, I didn't really see them. I mean, I saw rock bands, but like a hard rock band like you guys were.
Mhm.
And I remember that first couple Wednesdays I saw you, wasn't a lot of people there.
Mhm.
And you guys were just so good. Like you were young, but you were so good. And watching you play drums, and I was just learning how to play drums there. Literally had just bought my drum set. So I'm like watching the best show drummer
Watching him not only play drums, but sing at the same
and
time.
yeah,
right?
it was
Yeah,
all
yeah.
ridiculous. And if you remember the Maxwell stage had that window,
Yeah.
I used to stand there like a girl just watching John play drums.
Right.
And there was 4 people at sometimes, and the show you never stopped.
Yeah. It was a weird vibe there with that plexiglass window.
Yeah, it was right there on the side. It
And
was
the
so,
bar.
yeah, it was so
Yeah.
bizarre. It was so funny,
But
man.
yeah, my attitude was to always play like there's 20,000 people
I
there.
do comedy that way. I try to anyway,
Yeah.
But now, John, I mean, I think back on it. I've been wanting to get you on for a long time because there's so many things to really unpack with you because first of all, we have a ton of shared experiences.
Right.
With Hammerjacks, with Mitch, how our paths cross so many different ways with radio and your bands, and then just our friendship and families
Right.
became intertwined. And but I want to start kind of from the beginning with you, and I'm gonna vamp you through this.
All right.
What made you? What's the moment where you went, I'm gonna play drums. I'm gonna be in a band.
Well, I wanted to play music, wanted to be in a rock band. I think when I purchased Destroyer from Kiss.
Was that the album?
Yeah, that was my first Kiss record. And, if it didn't happen then, it definitely happened when I saw Kiss live
Yeah.
in 77,
Right.
78, something
Would
like
that
that.
have been the Love Gun tour?
No, it was a live too.
Okay.
And AC/DC. I think it's the only date that AC/DC opened for them with Bon Scott fronting.
Wow.
And
No kidding.
Yeah, and I'd never
Wow.
heard of them before, and I was like, "What is up with this little dude running around the stage?" in
And
his
you're
shorts?
coming-
Yeah.
With that voice,
Yeah.
right?
Hey, John,
Yeah.
pull that
And Bon
down a
Scott
little
shirt.
bit and tilt the mic up. That way it's not blocking your. Yeah. There you go.
Perfect.
Yeah. You're too handsome of a
Oh,
guy to
there you
hide
go.
that mug, man. By the way, you don't age.
Yeah,
You don't.
I do.
Nah, you
I'm
don't.
hitting the wall.
Yeah. Well, there may be parts of your body you're noticing before us, but you look great, man. So you go to a Kiss show, you got Kiss albums like all of us at that age.
Yeah.
Kiss was the Beatles for us.
Yeah, and those bastards. I mean, once I saw that live concert with the fire, and it just changed my life,
Of
man.
course it
I was
does.
just that at that point, it was like, yes, like those fuckers ruined my life. Now.
Yeah, I get it. I
And
get
John,
that.
did you ever cross paths with those guys in your career, or open for them, or get to do anything with them?
No, the closest I came, I was at a barbecue at Tom Morello's backyard,
Wow.
and it was for Memorial Day,
Yeah.
and all these different people started coming in, and when everybody's in shorts, it's like it's a pool party, and all of a sudden I look up and there's this dude standing there in black slacks, black shoes, and a black blazer with a crisp white button-down shirt open to here, and I was like, oh, that's Gene Simmons, man.
Yeah, you don't mistake
Wow,
Gene.
that's cool, man.
I told you my story of meeting him, right? And when they played Hammerjack.
I'm sure you did. Let's hear it.
It's the best. I'm sitting in the office at Hammerjack's, and it's like it's the weirdest place for an office because it's right behind the stage, but between the dressing rooms.
So
You
you
got to
have
walk through the office.
Every band had to walk through.
Yeah, so I would sit in there, and Gene comes in. This is in the afternoon because they're doing sound check, and he's by himself. I see the limousine pull up out back. He gets out, and he comes to the door. I buzz him in. He walks right down. He walks in the office, looks at me, and he goes, "How are you?" And I said, "I'm good, Mr. Simmons. How are you?" And he goes, "I'm Gene, and I'm great." And he sits down, and he goes, "Where would the stage be?" And I go, "Right through that door." He goes, "Excellent. And where are the girls?" Right? And I laugh, and I go, "They used to get here about 8:00. He goes, "Well, we have some time to kill." And so we just talked for a minute. He asked me, who the last bands were to play. And so then I was like, I'm alone with Gene Simmons. So I go, "Gene, I'm going to ask you an honest question." And I used the P word, but I said, "Who got more women in the day, you or Elvis?" Right? And he chuckles. He liked the question. And he just looks at me and he goes, "I got more in 1977 than Elvis got in his lifetime." And I was like, "Is that true?" And he goes, "Who knows?" I found him to be a great guy.
He's funny.
I
man.
did. I enjoyed his company. I thought he was cool. But
Did he try to sell you a Kiss casket?
No. I did buy
They
a
didn't
wallet.
they didn't have him.
They didn't have it
Right,
yet.
right.
Yeah, no. But I did want to bring this up because we both, Kiss ignited something in us. And I've heard so many other guys speak about this. The first time I saw Kiss, dude. First time I saw Kiss. Why do you think it took them 30 years to get into the Hall of Fame? Credibility of songs, is that the argument?
Well, I've heard a lot of talk about who was running the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame
Yeah.
for years, and it really like Iggy and the Stooges got right in, but they weren't.
Did they put out 2 albums?
They didn't sell a ton of records, right? But they were one of the first punk bands, and they were influential, I guess. That was the thing, and from what I've read, like reading about Led Zeppelin,
Sure.
Rolling Stone magazine when it started out was very very snooty about like
Yeah, what was
about
that guy's
music.
name? Jan
Wenner was the
Editor,
guy
right?
who ran it.
Yeah.
But like John, I think Mendelsohn was the guy. He was a critic, and he just shredded the first Led Zeppelin record, and he shredded the second Led Zeppelin record. So like, so much so that they had an aversion to talk to press for years.
Zeppelin did.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Because of that. So, there's a lot of I guess, they've considered some things highbrow and they considered some things lowbrow.
Yeah, like they look at Radiohead and they like think that guy reinvented the wheel. And I'm like, it's one cool song. Can we stop? Like Tom York, great. You're a creep. Get the fuck on. Like, you're driving me nuts, bro. Like, I don't get the. Do you get the Radiohead?
It's musician
thing?
rock, man. Come on.
Fuck
Every musician loves Radiohead, right, John?
They have more than one song, and
what's the other one?
It is cool.
They got Karma
Fake
Police,
trees,
man.
Isn't it Karma Police?
Karma Police.
They got at least 3.
Okay, great.
I would take that, man.
Great.
Shit.
I'm just, listen, right? Yeah, I don't know. I just always found that, like a band like Kiss, which I don't care what anyone says, any guy between the age of 8 and 16, from 76 till 80, Kiss was your favorite band. Why do we all have to stop pretending? You know, then AC/DC comes along, really, and it just all morphed into this really cool thing.
Well,
but to act like Kiss wasn't the reason, you know, that all of us just got ignited as a child to want to be an entertainer, I just think is the biggest load of crap I've ever heard.
you got to wonder if stuff like the makeup, people thinking it's like gimmicky,
It was
held them
genius.
back. Hey, listen, I'm just telling you what
I say
what
this about the
music
makeup.
snobs would say to you.
The makeup was in 1974 or whatever you want to call it, what the mop tops were in 1962 or 3 when the Beatles had that long hair. That was long hair.
Yeah, right.
Right. And it made kids go, wow, they're rebels. And then you see a spaceman, a cat, a demon, and an astronaut, and a star child. And you're watching these songs, they're wearing boots, breathing fire, spitting blood, and all of a sudden the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame goes, yeah, but let's be honest, they're no Radiohead. They're no Radiohead. I can name 5 Kiss songs that any rock band in the world wish they wrote. Rock and Roll All Night. I don't care what anybody says. It's the national anthem of rock and roll.
It's probably one of the greatest, yeah.
Without a doubt. I think Detroit Rock City is an incredible song.
Lick It Up.
Lick It Up's an awesome song. It's a little formulaic, but I like Shout It Out Loud.
Yeah.
I think that's a great hit.
Yeah.
I mean, they wrote some on Beth, I think's an incredible song.
Yep.
Hard Luck Woman. I mean, these are great songs.
They wrote that one
for Rod Stewart.
There you go.
Yeah. And he did Maggie May instead. Big mistake, Rod. See how that worked out for you, dumbass. But you understand
we
what I
all
mean?
make mistakes.
Yeah, we do. Speaking of, things getting inspired when you're young, it's interesting. I think back to you, John, like watching you play drums. And it's weird and I've talked about this on my show. I find it strange that when musicians become famous or anybody grows up in life, they forget about like who inspired them locally. Like a lot of times, like I've heard like a lot of those old British rock guys talked about session players and guys around town they'd see in bars that you never heard of.
Right.
But like Jimmy Page talks about 2 of these guys, like they were gods. And we never, there was
have
some
the names?
I can't remember.
Clem is one of them.
Clem.
He was I can't
That's
remember.
it.
His Catatini, I think is his last name. He was eyeing him up to be in Zeppelin.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where they came from. They came from the whole session world.
Yeah,
Right.
but what I mean is like those guys, they talk about the guys in their neighborhoods. So for me, like when I've been asked before, like, who's your favorite drummers? Like your name, I will say your name along with, John Bonham and Tommy Lee and guys that I really liked. But you're a phenomenal drummer.
Well, thank you. But yeah, I think the Baltimore scene really, we had a lot of great drummers.
Wow.
I mean, like Alex Makarovich was
Holy shit, mannequin, right?
Yeah, yeah. And he gave me lessons for a minute there. But
You should have paid attention.
But yeah, I should have. Yeah, he could play his ass off.
I mean-
and then seeing Shannon in the club.
Shannon
too.
Larkin.
Wow.
Shannon Larkin. So like, as much as I back then didn't want to admit it because we were sort
Oh,
of
you were trying to
sort
be
of,
all those guys.
well, we were sort of contemporaries,
Yeah.
and he was way ahead of me though, like a full year out in
Yeah.
the clubs before I got there. But certainly, to see a little skinny guy with like super long hair and doing his show and everything. He's actually one of the main reason that I got the gig in Child's Play.
Shannon Larkin?
Yeah,
From Godsmack and Wrathchild America.
Right,
Yeah.
because my guys saw him play and they were like, Brian, like we got to get a guy like that. And the guitar player that they just stole from my band said,
Was
John,
that Steve?
No, Steve Albanak was the original drummer
Okay.
for Child's Play when they were just starting out.
Yeah.
No, Jimmy Schaefer
Oh, right.
Um,
Jimmy Schaefer.
And he's like, I just left the band. You know, John is you know, he
This
looks,
kind of guy.
Yeah, he looks
Yeah.
like him and everything. So I got the gig without even.
You remember the first song you played with them with Child's Play?
I don't. I do remember they gave me a song list to learn. It was like 3 sets. It was
How
like,
much of it was Judas Priest?
Oh, a lot. But it was like 30 some songs. And I was so overwhelmed, and I think my ADHD kicked in. I think I learned 2.
Right, exactly. But as long as you played the shit out of them, you were in, dude.
Oh my God, it was a terrifying experience. Even though I had the gig, I felt like I was auditioning, but there was no going back. They moved all the stuff out of their drummer's house and into my parents' basement, and they were stuck with me.
And when you think back on those days now, John, like, was it fun? Like the early Child's Play basement days when you guys are really becoming friends and did you guys, was it a brotherhood? Did you have fun?
We rehearsed twice and then we played out.
Really?
So it wasn't really,
it wasn't a bonding time.
It wasn't fun for me. It was,
right.
It was like, you know,
intense.
It was scary, you know, like
yeah.
we played the Jack, and that song has like 2 guitar solos in it.
Right.
I stopped the song after like the first guitar solo and the next chorus. I was like, "Oh, they're still playing." I had to come back in.
Right.
So yeah, it was kind of nerve-wracking. Like we instantly started playing out a lot, and so I was learning on the fly.
Yeah.
It took a while. Took about a year or more before the Dundalk boys started bonding with the Essex boys. Really,
right. Right.
You know, it kind of all happened when skateboarding kind of came back in the that second wave in the 80s, and Brian started showing us like stuff, and we would go down to Fisherman's Inn.
I remember Fisherman's
down, you know, in near Sparrows Point, Miller's Island, actually, and yeah, we would go down to the ramp and we would skate like all day long.
Yeah,
and, you know,
listen to metal and get out of there. Yeah,
and punk rock.
So most people that know Child's Play now, that was the 4 of you, which was Brian, yourself, Nikki K, and Idzy.
Mm-hmm.
That 4 is really, I mean, Larry, a lot of people remember Larry because he was in the band at the end before Brian came out front. When Brian came out front, were you guys blown away? Like, was the band shocked at how good he really was and what a dynamic front man he became, or did you know it?
So if we back up, so the band originally was Phil Weiser on bass when I joined, and it was Jimmy Schaefer, the guy from one of my bands, and Brian on guitar, and Larry as a singer. And so then we would do a thing where we were playing so much, like 3 sets a night. Everybody in the band sang a song.
That makes sense.
So Brian would sing, and anytime he sang, it was electric. It was like, oh my God, like, wow, he's really great. But almost every time, like, we would go to, you know, put the song in the set list, he would try to beg off. He's like, oh, my throat's sore.
He didn't want to sing.
Yeah. And I don't know what the deal was, but Larry would put it in anyway, and we'd still play the song, and he would kill it, you know? So we knew that he had the voice, and he certainly had charisma because, if we back up again, before I was even in the band, I went up to their rehearsal, and I was sitting there, and the band was sitting around waiting for one of the guys to show up, and guess who it was?
Right.
It was Brian.
Of course.
He wasn't there yet.
Right.
Well,
why would he be?
We're talking. He walks in the door, and I was just like, wow. I'm like, that dude, whatever it is
a rock star.
He's got it.
Yeah, no,
you know,
I get it, bro.
And so he belonged out front of that, you know, that band. Like,
did you know when he did he fight it? Did he not want to be it? When you guys said, look, Brian, we got to make a movie, or did he go, not me, I don't want to do this?
Oh no, he wanted.
He was ready at that point.
At that point, yeah.
He had built himself up, and
I think his girlfriend at the time had really kind of put the bug in his ear, or at the very least support it
enough to give him enough confidence.
Yeah.
And he was spectacular. I mean, I've said this a million times. He's one of the greatest frontmen I ever saw.
I mean, we said earlier, the album should have been one of the biggest albums from the early 90s for sure. And then your live show was incredible. I feel like every member of the band had great stage presence.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, the band had we had a lot of miles playing You
You
know,
did,
we,
man.
we were playing 3 sets a night when we started, and playing like 5 nights a week. And while I was in high school,
Yeah.
I slept through
Wow.
slept through a lot of classes.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, when I went to school. So yeah, I mean, we had the live thing down. Like we would see the videos on MTV of bands and the quick cuts and how much energy those videos had. We were trying, or at least I was trying to recreate that in
3
my
hours
a
my
night.
show.
That's so smart.
No, I used to love watching you play, John. I mean, I've said this. I always wanted to be a kind of drummer that you didn't really listen to, you watched.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Because I figured if you could just get the, you know,
Yeah.
the one,
He's
the
like
one and
that.
the 3.
Shannon's like that.
Yeah, well,
you know?
Shannon and him are a little
Yeah.
different though because they're doing some really
Shannon
cool stuff.
can play.
Yeah, no, you
I
can
watch
too,
both
John.
of these guys, you know, when
Yeah.
they play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it's amazing to watch, and I've always been a visual guy. Any kind of band, I'll like a band because they entertain me before the songs. A lot of times, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I want to move past Child's Play a little bit because that history is amazing, and we'll come back to it in a little bit. But how many actual record deals have you signed?
I think
Has every one of your bands gotten signed? Meaning,
No,
was
no.
Charm City Devils signed?
yes.
Is Stone Horses signed?
It depends on kind of what you consider
I
signed.
mean, you have a
these days.
distribution deal.
We have a
yeah,
deal with through Virgin
and Child's
Records.
Play was
yeah.
signed.
Yeah.
So
SR
guys
71
go
was
their
signed.
whole in SR 71 signed.
Yeah.
Guys go their whole career trying to get one.
So the answer was yes, basically, John.
No, which one didn't? Magpies didn't get one.
Oh, okay.
Right.
And
Okay.
was that the only one?
I know it's still amazing. It's incredible.
Loser. You're a loser.
But most of the guys from Magpies wound up in Charm City Devils.
Yeah. So
So
that band, I loved Charm City Devils,
Thank
and I loved those songs, man. I
For
really
sure.
that what's it? Burn Baby Burn.
Yeah.
Burn Baby, whatever.
Mhm.
What a great song that is. Let's Rock and Roll was my kids' anthem. We got in the car, all 5 of us, me, their mother, and the 3 kids, and Jamie would crank that song, and it was hilarious. They were like 5, 4, and 3, and just all 3 of their heads. Let's rock, and just
That's awesome.
the devil horns were up. I mean, it was a real thing, man. But that was a phenomenal band. It really was.
And that song was played on 98 Rock in its demo form, thanks to Rob Heckman,
yeah.
and that's what got us the record deal with 11-7.
Yeah, that's incredible, which
Yeah.
was Nikki Sixx's label,
Correct.
which leads to a whole nother part of John's
Yeah.
story. So you basically, you meet Nikki, you develop a deal, you get signed with his label, then you go out on tour with them.
Yeah.
What was that like? Because I know you liked the crew, right?
Oh yeah, like when I joined Child's Play, we did a ton of Motley Crue.
Yeah.
and covers. I mean, we did stuff from the first record, and at the time, I think the second record had just come out, Shout at the Devil. So we did Shout at the Devil. We did Looks at Kill.
Right.
We did Knock 'em Dead Kid.
Did you
We
like
did 10
Tommy
Seconds
Lee
of
as
Love.
a drummer? Like,
Oh, of course.
yeah. So you were a
Yeah.
Tommy Lee fan.
Yeah.
Did you get to meet him?
Yeah.
Was he cool?
Yeah, he's cool.
He
He's
is.
like a big kid, man.
He is,
He's
right?
great. Yeah.
And somebody
Yeah.
told me he's kind of like, you just meet him and you're kind of like, wow, how do you hold anything together?
Yeah.
Like you just seem
Yeah.
like you're just floating around
Yeah.
Earth.
So on Crew Fest, he had the poor people that set up
His
like
drums?
all the catering. No,
Oh,
all
oh.
the catering. Every night had to set up Tommyland. So it was like a DJ rig with these giant speakers and couches and carpet and everything, and like because it was set up to be a big post show party
Right.
every night. But he was dating one of the backup singers, so
So
wa-
he never went to his own party.
Yeah,
Right.
he wasn't on the prowl, so it was like, okay, great. you know?
Oh my God, man.
We'd
That-
go in there and like, hey, where's everybody?
Yeah. Did you watch him play live?
I did.
Was it impressive or was he
Yeah.
kind of mailing it in?
Yeah, he's great. And for half the tour,
Yeah, yeah.
until he got hurt.
Right.
But I saw them live on the Theater Pain tour.
Yeah.
And they blew me away.
Yeah.
then.
I love Tommy Lee. He's one of my favorite drummers.
Does he really drink a bottle of Jack Daniels during his drum solo, or is that iced tea?
I never had a swig off of it.
John, when you go then, like, so Charm City Devils you had a good, what was it, 7-year run there probably?
Yeah, I don't know. Sounds like
Yeah,
sounds
5,
right.
7 years. You had some great songs, got some cool videos. That stops. Then you make Stone Horses,
Right.
and that gets picked up. And now you're going on tours. You did the Steel Panther run.
Right.
Like, I mean, dude, you doing it. Your whole career, you've been a musician.
Yeah. I guess I have.
I mean, if you think about that, I don't think enough people really understand, first of all, how difficult that really is. And I mean, having a really smart wife helps, you know what I mean? And supportive. And she's amazing.
Yeah.
And you're so fortunate to have that in your life.
I am.
But you still have to do the work and write the songs and put the band together and record them. And nobody really knows. You do all of it.
Yeah.
Like it's literally the John Allen show over there. Musically
for a large part of it. I like to have collaborators, it's usually a guitar player who, I'm fumbling my way on guitar, but I really need that extra
guy that can really
musicality, the guy that can really play, like what you're going to say.
No, I was going to say, what I actually was going to say was the guy that can like take your idea and form it into a cool riff,
right?
Or so this might be a better guitar player and say, hey, what about this?
Yeah,
I get it, but you're still writing. And listen, my favorite, do you know what my favorite song of yours all time is? It's, I swear to God, the first time I heard the song, I remember where I was. I think I was the second person that ever heard it. I was in your car behind Hammerjacks. It was me, you, and Nick. Oh. And you played right out of the studio. You guys drove down and you played Foolish Pride for me.
Okay.
With Tommy singing.
Yeah.
And I was a huge Brian fan. Mm-hmm. And at that time you had another singer already in, Ty, I think his name was, who was a great singer, really interesting guy, not right for that band.
Right.
But then I heard this guy's voice, and I had met Tommy a couple times. Mm-hmm. But that song, I still don't know. Have you ever tried to just give it to some amazing pop singer and say, here, do something with this thing?
Not really. I mean, like, it would be great if somebody covered it. I should talk to my publisher. I should say, hey, put that in the the pitch pile.
I don't know why. I'm telling you, John, and I know maybe genre-wise and time-wise, you look at that song as kind of a moment in time that doesn't stand still. It's a phenomenal song, man.
I think that one actually, out of a lot of the stuff that I've written, may transcend time
without a doubt,
because it's got the classic kind of.
It's a redemption story, dude. You're a great storyteller. Like you're a phenomenal storyteller lyrically. And I think when I hear songs like that, see what's so interesting about that song is I internalized it for you. You didn't tell me what that song was about, but because I knew you, I was able to internalize, like, I bet he meant this when he's saying this. So, but then I've turned other people onto that song and they're like, oh my God, dude, I have felt this way 1,000 times. Like, I would feel remiss if I didn't do this and bring that up to you. Like, I think that song has another life in it. And it's an unbelievable. If you've never heard that song, YouTube, Child's Play, Foolish Pride. I don't even know if it's a ballad. If it's a phenomenal song. It's a blues, just thick, soulful. It's awesome.
It's so funny. I was just listening to Sticky Fingers the other day.
The Stones.
Yeah, and there's a song on there. Oh shoot, I can't remember the title now. It's further down on the record. But it's got a lot of Foolish Pride kind of vibes to it. And I sat there and I was thinking, did I hear this subconsciously, like in my childhood?
Oh, without a doubt.
Came out because I always thought it was maybe influenced by Purple Rain, because it's got that had kind of come out already, and then, like I was at a real low point in my life, and the song just came out. Now I will say though, with what Tommy's voice did for the song,
oh my God,
and Nick's guitar playing, and then Idzy's bass line, this descending kind of scale thing,
phenomenal.
It really to me, those contributions, the song wouldn't have been what it was.
John, are you in that songwriting game where you're doing writing for other artists?
Not really. No, you have to be in Los Angeles really to do that thing, or
really even today you feel like that?
Yeah, because there's tons of people doing it who collaborate and make teams. There's a lot of songwriting by committee, and you have to make those connections and enable, because rock bands don't typically really work with songwriters. So it's more of a pop world, and that's not really my wheelhouse. So it's difficult to break into,
Right.
So Mitch is doing it. He's doing quite well out there. And
Mitch Allen,
he's on everything.
SR71. Yeah. Just to recap. But here's that song. I was able to pull it up.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do something like ghastly and move it forward. But like his voice, it's just one of those songs. Like the reason I think I love the song so much, I love stories of when someone's trying to emote.
Mm-hmm.
When someone is telling you, this is how I feel, this is what it did to me, this is what I learned from it, this is how it affected me. When you're able to articulate that, and then you have an incredible ear for melody. You just do. And, guys that can write hits. That's what they do. You're one of them dudes. And when I think lyrically, emotionally, and musically, you came together. All those points came together at once for you. And that song to me, you have a couple, but that one in particular, I think you just understood songwriting at a different level at that point. I think you may have challenged yourself unknowingly. And I'm talking a lot of shit right now about you.
It sounds really good, though, dude. I'm digging it.
But I really do, because I remember, when I think back to the Rat Race album,
right?
It's all about getting laid, drinking, fighting, being a Baltimore City kid.
Yep.
That song and that album, Long Way. How old are you at this point? Late 20s, early 30s?
I don't know, but while you were talking about it, I was thinking about my frame of mind at that point when that song was written, and I think we had parted ways with Brian.
You did,
and we didn't know what was going to happen.
Yeah, there was no future for the band,
right? And my long-term girlfriend, our relationship was over, so it was like the perfect storm for depression. So I was like,
that's good songwriting.
I was pretty
conditions.
Low. Yeah, and I felt like back then I used to feel like, wow, I can't write unless I'm really depressed.
Of course.
Fortunately, I'm depressed a lot.
Right, so you can write a lot of songs. Yeah, if I understood melody, I'd be a songwriting freak, much as I've been depressed. Yeah. I write jokes out of them. You write beautiful songs. Yes. Do you think, John, as your career evolved and maybe your family and, you have a beautiful family, your 2 daughters, a beautiful wife who was incredible and successful. When you look back on all of it, are you happy with where you are now as John Allen, the musician?
Good question. In life in general, I'm happy. And as far as my career, music, I'm always striving for something. That's never going to end. Yeah. I never feel like I'm there.
Right.
I've done a lot of great things. I've done some more than some people have.
A lot more.
But a lot of it is, is just stick-to-itiveness. It's tenacity. And then, I feel like it's almost like attrition, right? So if I keep
just outlasting all those guys.
It's not about talent.
I'm gonna be the last pill in the bottle, damn it.
I'm the only guy left, so you got to deal with it.
John, there must have been a moment. I was going to say there must have been a moment though where you felt like, all right, this is rock star. Was there a moment in your career where you're like, all right, I'm doing something that a lot of guys dream about doing in their career, and here I am doing it?
There were probably moments on Crew Fest, when you were playing in front of a lot of people, or I don't know, being on stage at RFK Stadium for the HF Festival with SR71, playing drums. The first time maybe was when we went out in arenas. My first time on tour in arenas opening for Bon Jovi. That was pretty cool.
That's a whole different animal when you get into the arena, right?
Yeah. And
you don't touch anything at that point, do you? Do you kind of just walk in, they hand you sticks and you play? Tell the truth. It is, right?
Well, so like I had crew from the very beginning.
Yeah, you never were a set up your own Joe.
That's incredible.
Poor
man.
Joe. God.
You never had to carry drums up the Fletcher steps?
Oh my God. The drums weren't even the half of it. Those big bass cabinets, the
Right.
SVTs,
Oh my God.
the 8x810s.
Right.
Those were a bear. That was like 24 steps straight up,
Yep.
man.
And you're carrying a 200-pound cabinet
Oh my
or whatever it
God.
was.
That thing.
When you when you look back on it, like what Matt was saying, you have those moments in your head where you're like, wow, this is freaking awesome.
Mhm.
And you're still doing it at a very respectable and high level.
Mhm.
You're still being considered to go out on tour with guys and
Mhm.
guys that are younger than you. Is
Yeah.
that weird? Like if you had to go out with guys that are, half your age and they're hot right now.
Not really.
Yeah.
They won't take old guys.
Yeah,
like
they
us.
won't. Yeah, we don't want that old sumbitch blowing us away. What do you think of some of the younger rock bands, like The Feel, who I love? I kind
Yeah.
of said that to
I
you.
dig them.
Yeah. What's the other one? Dirty Honey?
Dirty
Money?
Honey. So,
Dirty
so
Honey.
they're both those bands. I think are managed by the same people and booked by the same agent.
They're
Actually,
both phenomenal.
yeah,
They're fun.
They're great.
Yeah.
I dig them a lot.
I want to get The Feel on this show because I'll tell you how this is what happened. So I went to Nashville with my daughter last year. In fact, it was a year ago, maybe this week. We went to Nashville and we're down there. And I had never seen a music scene like that. Everywhere you walk in and these bands are playing and every player is a 10. And they're just half-assing
Yeah.
it. They're in shorts. They don't even care.
Yeah.
And I just got talking to this guy at the bar because he was a guitar player. And I think he noticed me. I commented something out loud to myself. I literally said something like, wow, that was an insane lick to myself. And he heard me, he goes, oh, you guitar player? And I go, no. I'm a terrible drummer. I'm like, I'm just a big music fan. And we start talking. And he told me about this band, Feel. He goes, I saw him. He's like, dude, these kids are just, it's 1975 in their head.
Yeah.
1973, and they're living it. And I went home and I looked them up and I was like, oh my God,
Yeah.
do I love this band.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, but I think it's really cool that you still, like, and I've said this, I posted this once. You're like one of the most authentic dudes I know because you never pretend. I mean, you had to get a job here and there to pay bills when drums weren't doing it, but
Mhm.
you've been a working musician your
Yeah.
whole life and an original artist
Mhm.
and made that's John. I know it's weird because you don't look at it that way because the success in that business can be so grand, but the little bit of success is so unmatched.
And as an original artist,
It's
too.
unbelievable.
I mean, it's one thing to and no disrespect to people who are playing covers
I'll
music at all.
disrespect them. No, I'm
But
kidding.
I'm saying it's even harder, I think, to make a living playing your own original music throughout your career.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, yeah, I never what was I gonna say?
Well-
But like you were saying, I never really had to get a job until Child's Play
broke up. That's the only
lost
time
a deal.
you were like driving a van or something for a
I
while,
was
right?
a courier for a bit. I painted houses first, and that was like all day long. I'm painting, and
Well,
I'm
that's what drummers do when the band breaks up.
dude,
Yeah.
But that's the worst because
Yeah.
all you have to do is you're in your head the whole day, and you're like, where did my life go
Yeah,
wrong?
yeah.
It's like-
And I can't believe this is the color for
I'm
the
like-
other room.
So I
Not
don't-
this one.
yeah, so I did that for like a month and a half, and then so yeah, thank God I've been able to play music and do that.
Have you were never really, I never noticed or remembered you being like that original music snob. I know you were very proud of being an original band, but you would go see a cover band and have fun. And
Yeah, I
hang
mean,
out?
I came from cover band, so
I'm
mean,
asking you now though, like now, if a couple guys wanted to put something together, have some fun a couple times a month playing covers, would you do it?
would I play
It
or
has
would
to
I,
be part
would I
of his-
go out?
No,
Big
would you
project.
play? Would you play a couple times a month? Just fun stuff.
Probably not.
Really? You don't enjoy it that much anymore?
No.
I'm curious.
I sit home. I'd actually have to set up my own stuff. No, I wouldn't do it.
So you don't have that interest. How about singing in one? Just for fun, no interest.
No, I like it takes me so long to write songs and get my stuff done that maybe when the kids get out of the house,
Yeah.
maybe perhaps I don't know.
You're not going to be part of Mickey's new band?
Yeah, I'm forming a super group,
Yeah.
dude.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding you.
Well, so the wife was thinking when she retires, we'll move to Florida to the Villages.
Yes.
and then I can join a cover band
Perfect. And do you
and-
know about the villages?
and support her.
Do you know about the
Oh, I
villages?
know about the
Yeah.
Villages.
Yeah. I think she better do her research
Yeah.
before you
No,
move
she,
there.
she knows too.
Okay. All right. Good.
It's not all key parties, loofah or whatever. Not everyone are swingers.
Give me a musical act that most of your fans will be shocked that you absolutely love. A guilty pleasure of John Allen.
I don't know, Adele. I like. I don't know. My palette is pretty wide. I don't really
Do you
love
like-
country.
Do you like R&B?
I do.
You do?
Yeah.
But you're not a country guy.
No.
I'm starting to understand country.
Mhm.
I still don't get the twangy voice. If they could just sing
Yeah.
it normal, I think I might like it better.
Yeah, I don't like that affected
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah, it's like you have to sound like this,
Yeah.
which is weird to me, but there are some phenomenal country songs.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are.
In fact, we're gonna get hey Matt, you ready to do your music minute?
Yeah.
John, we just do this show and it's a little thing. We don't have it sponsored yet, but we're trying to get one. It's called Matt's Music Minute. We just talk about musical stuff. Your sponsor, your name, your phone number here. A bunch of great stuff about your company would be being said right now.
How much does it cost?
We can work that out. We can work that out.
Stone horse.
It's
We'll give you a
negotiable.
special deal.
Yeah.
All
Let me see
right.
that. Let me see that, John. Let me know. Today's Music Minute brought to you by Stone Horses. Stone Horses are John Allen, Ted Merrill,
Ted Merrill. Yeah.
Ted Merrill, Dylan Howes,
Ted's
and
a beast.
Jason
Yeah.
Heiser, another unbelievable drummer.
Yeah.
Check out this. Where can they get this? Everywhere, right?
Yeah. Everywhere.
All the record stores
All
have
the
'em.
record stores.
Check that out. Of course, it's Stone Horses. Let's do it. It's Matt's Music Minute. What's up, buddy?
All right. Well, the new group of inductees for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame has just been announced. The news broke last night
This is
during
going to be
the
another
broadcast
pile
of
horse
American
shit.
Idol. Well, you might be happy. So
All right.
it doesn't come without some controversy. And this is where you might be happy, Mick, in that the winner of the fan voting, Fish, didn't make the cut.
They did or didn't?
They did not.
Good. They shouldn't be in a goddamn jam band.
Neither did
Write
other,
a song, you bunch of hippies.
neither did other popular choices like Mariah Carey or Billy Idol, though.
Billy Idol should have got in. That's total horseshit that he did not get in.
Well, here's the thing. That fan vote counts for one vote
Right.
out of 1,200.
Yeah.
So we should stir up some controversy about that. I
Well-
think it should account for more than one vote.
Fish, I get it.
Yeah.
You're a Grateful Dead cover band,
Yeah.
and everybody loves the Grateful Dead. I get it. Okay, fine. But you don't belong in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Mariah Carey, I'll be honest. If the Hall of Fame, we need to change that from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame to the Music Hall of Fame, to the Contemporary Hall of Fame, Pop Music Hall of Fame, whatever you want to call it. Take the word rock and roll out of it so white people stop getting their butt hurt when a really talented black artist gets nominated. Like, I do believe Smokey Robinson should be in the goddamn Hall of Fame musically. I think Marvin Gaye should. You know what I'm saying? Prince, without a doubt. Michael, well, I'm just saying, yeah, that's an asterisk, go. He's got to be in, but Michael's got to have an asterisk. You know what I mean? Just because if you got to read the stories. But then you think of people like Mariah Carey has an unbelievable voice. I mean, she had 10 or 12 number one songs, maybe more. Like, that's a deserving artist to remember. And to me, Billy Idol is very personal. You know that. I've talked about it. But I do think out of all those British punk things, he was the biggest.
Oh, he brought it over here, right?
He was the biggest. I mean, we all know the Sex Pistols and the Clash and the Jam and all because of Billy Idol's success.
Yeah.
I mean, we heard of it. But, now everybody knows Nevermind the Bullocks. But that was because MTV, because of Generation X and Billy Idol, brought that stuff along with them.
Yeah.
I think you weren't a big Idol fan, were you? Billy Idol.
I like Billy Idol. Brian was a huge fan.
Yeah.
And we wound up signed to his same label.
Chrysalis. Yeah.
So
and the guy, his guitar player.
Yeah.
A lot of guitar players
for
put him
sure.
on a Mount Rushmore.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
No question.
All right. So Fish is out. Good.
Here's your Rock and Roll Hall of Fame class of 2025. Cyndi Lauper, the
She
White
should
Stripes.
be in. I'll give her that. The White Stripe. No. A two-piece band.
Yes.
Are you think so?
I mean, yeah, that dude wrote some songs.
I think he should
Yeah.
be in it.
Yeah.
Him.
Yeah. Oh, I mean,
I could have played drums in that band.
That is him, though. I mean, that's if you look at the White Stripes, it's
Then
really
put him in.
It's really him.
I don't know. I get aggravated about this. I don't know why.
Chubby
think
Checker.
Wait a minute.
Go ahead.
You think White Stripes are in Rock and Roll Hall of Fame?
Well, I think they were eligible before he was as a solo artist, and I think that band. I think I've talked to you about it before. I could never reconcile my punk rock influences with my straight up rock and roll AC/DC.
I kind of did. AC/DC is a punk rock band to me.
You're right, but I think that Jack White did it. He took the blues influences that I liked, and
the punk attitude
and the punkness. He figured out a way to do it. And
I think there were other guys that did it. I think
Maybe.
Social Distortion did it in a way. Then not quite as musical as him.
yeah, more
But I
straight
think
up.
there were other artists that came along that kind of fused both. But I do agree with that. That's why I say he should be in. Like, I think that guy alone. I mean,
He'll probably get inducted as a solo artist at some
Yeah.
point.
yeah.
I'm
sure
sure.
think.
I mean, Seven Nation
agree.
Army or whatever that song is.
Yeah,
Is it a great song? Is it?
sure.
I mean, you
Yeah.
think it.
I mean,
You think
It
it's
is
an
when he goes
anthem.
to the mailbox.
I know,
man.
but as a songwriter, do you find that song to be like? Is that song interesting to you or a great song?
I like that tune.
Okay.
I'm kind of getting sick of it
Right.
because of the
Sporting
NFL,
events and all that.
sporting
Yeah,
events.
sure.
But yeah, I mean, I think
Okay,
it's a
fair
great
enough.
song.
It's an
the-
anthem, man. It's an anthem.
It
Did
is.
you ever hear
Uh,
the one Doorbell?
Yeah.
That to me is the best song he ever
It's a
did.
great song.
That's an
It's
incredible
got
song.
a lot of them.
Yeah. No, maybe. All right. Fine. But not fish. I draw the line at fish.
Yeah. Well,
Unless it's the fish from Barney Miller.
some of the people that were in the fan vote did make it in though. Chubby Checker, Outcast, Bad Company, who should have probably been in there a long time ago. Soundgarden is one of our class of 2025, and Joe Cocker as well.
I got no problem with all those guys
That's
you
great.
just named.
Yeah.
None. I mean, Joe Cocker, he should be in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the Emphysema Hall of Fame, the Uncontrollable Body Movement Hall of Fame, the What the Hell Is He Doing Hall of Fame. And I love him. I could watch that. I would just like that guy to sing all night and flail all over the place.
Yeah.
That's entertainment. I think more guys should be that passionate.
Agreed. Jim Belushi did it
Yeah.
wonderfully.
To him.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. It was
Can you
great.
imagine having the balls to do an impression next to the guy?
Yeah, I've seen that recently, and it's pretty cringy.
It's beyond.
Yeah. I mean,
Was he in on it?
I don't know, but
That's a good
yeah.
question. I don't know. I saw the SNL documentary, and I think they touched on that, but I don't remember if he had talked to him beforehand or what the deal was.
John, I got a
Yeah.
weird chat room request to ask you about Destruction by Ice. So tell me what Destruction
Who's it from? It's
I'm
one of the guys in the band,
X is it from X? You know,
X?
yeah.
JJX?
Yeah, JJ.
Oh
yeah.
my God! What's
Yeah.
up, JJ?
So what's he what was the story of is that
So-
your original band?
It was so when Child's Play started writing songs, all these things were starting to happen at the time we came out in the clubs,
Yeah.
right? So Metallica was just new on the scene,
Sure.
and speed metal, Slayer and stuff.
Yep.
So Brian came to us with this song, and it was like, it was a fast tempo kind of Metallica-esque sort of tune. We were writing songs, once a month or once every couple months, and this happened to be a tune, and it worked live. People really dug it, but it was kind of silly.
That was the name of the song, Destruction by Ice. I
Well-
like it.
Well, and here's the thing: we could have never done it because I just found out recently. I was watching some movie, and on the end credit, they had this Robert Frost poem, and those are the lyrics that Brian stole for the song.
He just stole a poem.
Well-
Never told you guys.
Well,
and you found out 40 years later?
apparently his high school girlfriend gave them to him. So I don't know if
If he even
knew
knew.
or not.
Right.
I was
That's
like, wow,
hilarious.
these words are really cool.
Yeah, these
It's
are
like-
deep, Brian. Way
Yeah,
to go.
yeah.
Very Frost-esque.
Yeah, so yeah, it was a goofy song, I thought. But
Here are the rest of the artists that are getting into two more recording artists, one induction into the Hall despite not appearing on this year's ballot. In separate musical influence category, Salt and Peppa and Warren Zevon will be inducted.
See, Warren Zevon, I could make an argument for going in. Like, he wrote some unbelievable stuff.
Yeah.
Very talented dude.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? He's no fish. Don't get me wrong. Fish. How did that even get? I want to know who sat around one day and went, hey, who's that band that opens for the Dead? They should be in. What is that? You like Fish, John?
I've never heard a Fish song in my life. I
Yeah,
don't
you
think.
ain't missing nothing.
But they pack them in,
I
man.
know.
They
They
can
do.
do like multi-day festivals.
See, but
and-
to me, it's not the music.
It was the extension of the Grateful Dead.
Yeah, that's all it
you
was.
know.
It's just
Yeah.
keeping that crap alive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I tried to do it with Toto, but nobody was into Toto that much. I tried to keep that alive.
Three other musicians are getting in via the Musical Excellence Award. Also selected by the board, producer Tom Bell, pianist Nicky Hopkins, and bassist Carol Kay.
Well, Carol Kay, do you know about her?
Yeah.
I mean, Carol Kay is that lady was the best.
Yeah.
I love watching them old interviews and them old cats. And I forget this one dude, this guitar player who's like a legend, played for he played for everybody, studio guy. And he talks about her and he goes, and the way he said, he goes, this girl came in one day, she's carrying a bass. And I thought, wow, that's nice. She's carrying a bass for her boyfriend. Then she sat down and plugged it in. And I thought, this is the nicest girl I've ever met. She even plugs it in for him. Then she started playing it. And I said to myself, I'm not going to tell her a word. I just said, apparently, like, she was the shit, man.
Yeah.
Well, did you see the documentary Wrecking Crew?
Oh, that's
So
the one
great.
it's in.
Yeah.
Yep,
Remember the Italian guitar player guy?
I
Tells
don't
that
remember
story.
him.
Yeah, he tells that story when she first showed up. They were all kind of like, that's real nice of her. Brought her husband's, you know, but yeah, that
They all played on all those Beach Boy songs and anything that came out of LA in the like early to mid 60s.
I think one of the things that I was impressed the most with about that documentary was when they talked about the Beach Boy thing. Did we get knocked off we just got knocked off. I got to go right back on.
What do you mean?
Facebook is down, I think. Knocked me off. I'm double checking.
We're still good on YouTube and my Facebook.
Maybe we are live. I don't know. It looked like it knocked me off, so I apologize. Anyway, getting back to it, one of the things I found incredible about that documentary, John, when they were talking about nope, we went off. I'm going to go back. When they were talking about it, what happened was they brought in sheet music with the Brian Wilson stuff, and all the musicians were looking at the charts, and like the string section came over to the rhythm section. They were talking, and they're like, hey, does any of this make sense? Like, we're in different keys. And as soon as they started playing it together, they all kind of looked around like, oh, wow, this guy's on another planet. Do you remember that?
I don't.
In the Beach Boy
sounds like
documentary?
it's probably Pet Sounds you're talking
Yeah,
about.
it was Pet Sounds. And all those cats sat down and they're reading their charts and they're like, is this at the same time I'm playing that? And it didn't make sense. And Brian would like walk through the studio like, I know, just trust me. When your part comes, play it. And they're like, okay. And then they heard it as they were playing it. And they were just like, oh my God. Have you ever had a studio moment like that, even by mistake, where like something happened in the studio and you're just like, wow, that worked out perfect?
There's been some happy accidents. I was moving a drum part one time in Pro Tools, and it slid onto like the wrong beat, but I had it set at like a 64th note or something.
Yeah.
So it gave it like this weird, almost like the Bonham turnaround. Where the snare kind of comes in on the
you put the snare on 1 and 3. Yeah.
So those things can happen.
Yeah, but they talked about that. That's pretty wild. What else we got, Matt?
You got that music clip ready?
Wait a minute. Which one was it, bud?
Stephen Wilson Jr.'s rendition of the national anthem before the NFL draft is still polarizing the internet. I don't know if you guys caught it, but there are a lot of people who loved it and others who hated it. But that's probably just America these days, right? Polarizing.
Seems to be, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Matt, I need 1 second because keep talking.
Have you heard? Are you familiar with Stephen Wilson Jr.?
No, is he a country guy?
He's a country guy, but he is kind of he's kind of an emo country guy.
Really?
That's kind of that's my vibe that I get from him is he's like an emo guy, and that's kind of in my opinion, that's the type of performance that he did. Did
he do a screamo part in the?
It wasn't screamo. It was very
here we go.
Johnny Cash-ish type of a vibe, maybe.
I think hey, listen, and I think you're being a little gracious with the Johnny Cash type thing. I'm just saying, I'm just more like Johnny Knoxville. I wasn't a fan, but let's take a listen. I'm not always right.
To it here
we go. All right. Phone up. Here we go.
Our national anthem.
Guitar playing is amazing, by the way.
Seymour, Indiana native, and Big Loud recording artist.
Who's that guy's voice?
Stephen Wilson Jr.
Hey, I just got to say before I play it, Matt, like John makes a great point. If you have that voice, you get anything you want. Like even if your wife's in the other room, sweetheart, get in here now.
I need a Bud Light from the second shelf of the refrigerator.
Pronto.
Put your hands together.
Yeah, put your hands together. We're going to have coitus. Here we go.
Cool guitar.
always just thought you should learn the song before you perform. I think I got it. Remember.
Is this him
There
playing
he is.
guitar too?
Yeah.
Yeah, here he goes.
Can you see by the dawn's early light?
It's a little Willie
Willie
Nelson.
Nelson. Yeah.
Was so proudly we heard at the twilight's first gleam.
Now I know how foreigners feel when they hear our national anthem.
Broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight. Oh, the ramparts we once were so gallantly streamed.
See what I mean? It's like emo, right? You think it's emo?
I don't get
No.
emo.
No, you don't
out
think
of
it's
that.
emo?
No, it's very Americana. It's very.
Well, I agree. I'm just talking about his vocal delivery of the song.
The vocal delivery to me is sort of like that old school folky kind of talking melody stuff. Like,
I hear a lot of Willie Nelson.
yeah, I hear a
there.
lot of Willie. Yeah.
And,
Yeah,
a lot of
I get your point with the
vibrato.
Willie.
Yeah.
It's a tough song, man.
Have you ever
And
tried to do it?
I've done it out in public.
Have you really?
Yeah, I did it before one of Vance's the wrestling, not the wrestling thing,
The Shogun
mixed martial-
fights?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Shogun fight, yeah. And it's it's a challenge.
Yeah.
And especially when it slapbacks like at the Baltimore Arena when I
You
did
can
it,
hear it.
the PA was at a weird distance. So it wasn't like the perfect like when I record stuff and I put a delay on my vocal,
Yeah.
it automatically reads what the tempo of the song
So
is.
it can adjust it to
and
that.
it gives you it's in time.
Right.
So this slapback from the PA was
Oh
hitting
my
me at
God.
a weird time. And I
Yeah.
was like,
Yeah.
oh, whoa, but it went fine. But
It's a lot of pressure just doing the anthem itself,
it's
right?
a lot of
Yeah.
pressure. There's been a lot of horrendous versions, and and
You don't want to be one of them.
Yeah,
What'd you think of the Chris Stapleton one a couple years ago?
phenomenal.
I thought next to Whitney
Phenomenal.
Houston, it's the best national anthem version I've ever heard. And I don't even
he's-
know if you can put it below hers. Hers was just so spectacular.
Yeah, he's incredible. He's an incredible singer, and that
He's
was a
everything.
fantastic.
Yeah.
fantastic.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have a favorite national anthem?
Jeez, I don't even know. You put me on
Roseanne
the spot
Barr?
here. Roseanne Barr, yes.
Well, that was awesome.
Phenomenal.
Yeah. that.
Especially the
Yeah. She's something.
Spitting on the ground.
All right, Matt, let's
After-
jump right into
for the
it. This
Patriots.
is our segment of the news, John. It's
All
called
right.
That's the Facts, Matt. Brought to us by Barnes Paving, incredible people. BARNES paving.com, 443-243-3710. We can do all kinds of stuff for you. Any kind of patchwork you need. Barnes Paving will get it done. Let's do it. It is now That's the Facts, Matt. What do we
So,
got?
I don't know if you know, but we are number one. We're number one.
Who's
Chant it
we?
with me, guys. Baltimore.
Okay.
Top 10 dirtiest cities in the U.S.
We're number one?
We're number one.
Way to go, Mayor Scott. You promised us some big changes. I can't listen. I can't deal with this stuff anymore, Matt. It's nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got to clean up around here.
We do need to clean
Yeah.
up.
I'm serious.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff that needs cleaning up, not just the dirtiness of
You're
the
damn
city.
right.
Yeah.
We got to clean up this music scene too, so John Allen can make $50 million.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, I'm ready for that.
Well, we may have more time for that because Bill Gates has just predicted the 2-day work week as AI is set to replace humans for most jobs within a decade. A future of full weekends, 3-day weeks, and the death of the classic 9-to-5 may not be far off. According to Microsoft founder and tech visionary Bill Gates, artificial intelligence is poised to reshape the global workforce, potentially reducing the standard work week to just 2 days. He was on the Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon when he mentioned this. He said that AI is advancing so rapidly that in just 10 years, machines will be capable of handling most things currently done by humans. That seismic shift, he suggests, will free people from the grueling 5-day grind and open up new possibilities for leisure, creativity, and balance.
I kept waiting for this. I keep hearing about this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, when is it coming?
I just don't
Well,
even know.
I
Like,
mean, I
what-
work hard 5 days a week. man.
Right. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
need a robot playing the drums and the guitar for you. now,
Here's
man.
my question. So you hear a guy like that, right? I mean, the Great Gatsby, Bill Gates, whatever you want to call him. He decides that the world can be done with robots and AI, and that's fine, man. I get
Well,
it.
I don't know that he's saying that.
But
I think
I-
he's just saying that AI is the way it's progressing and how fast it's coming. It might be an eventuality.
Right, but what do we do then? How do we earn
so,
money?
So here's the
Right.
philosophical questions: who controls the AI?
Right,
Who benefits from it?
right.
And how do we
Billionaires.
ensure that technological progress doesn't outpace human well-being?
Well, it already has, number one. Technical progress is doing it right now. It's why the world's moving so fast, and dozens of countries and cultures are being left behind because that's the way it goes. However, I do think you're going to see, and people think I'm crazy, I think you're going to see some of these younger kids kind of stuff their head at technology. Be like, nah, you know what? I want to fish. I want to drive a gas guzzler. I want to, you know what else I want to do? I want to go climb a rock. Like, I want to build something with my hands. And I think there's something very human about it. That's why we've evolved the way we have. That's why we build the way we build.
Maybe it'll get us back to that. Maybe that's going to get us back in nature and on the beach.
Yeah,
and
let
doing
them
things in
do
the
all the
woods
stuff
and,
we don't feel like doing.
Right, right.
Why
I
can't AI just clean the house?
I don't know what my algorithm is doing on
Yeah,
Facebook,
me either, bro.
but I'm getting this old guy who's like hawking a book that teaches the old ways.
Oh yeah, how to do things.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I've seen that. I have
It's
seen
like
that,
like
yeah.
a survivalist kind of thing, but actually like these old
I
techniques.
love those
of-
books, dude. I'm
Oh,
all into
yeah.
those books.
Well,
Yeah.
how to preserve meat in lard.
Right.
Yeah,
Like-
yeah,
Right.
man.
Well, when we have this, we think that everything is set and we're cool and
Yeah.
nothing will ever happen to this way of life. But we're probably, one little disaster away from this
Total
just going-
chaos,
total
anarchy.
chaos.
And
yeah.
here's the thing I've always said. Throughout history, there wasn't so many people. You could kind of band together in villages and even smaller cities and say, okay, 25 men are going to walk into the woods and chop trees down, bring them back. We're going to make firewood. Now we got to do that for 4 million people.
Well,
Like,
to
what
John's
do-
point as well, we forgot how to do a lot of that stuff. Name somebody that knows how to make butter or hunt.
I know.
find
Let me tell you
food.
something.
Yeah.
I have been secretly, and nobody knows this.
Churning butter.
No. I have opened up.
He's got that movement down.
I
He
have
does.
communication. I have stealth communication with the Amish people.
Oh, there
They
you
know
go.
they know I know what's going on and I'm on their side.
Biggest Amish comic.
Yeah, that's my thing.
Yeah.
I'm the smallest Amish comic. But no, I mean, that's the people that will thrive in those times. COVID,
Yeah.
they didn't even know what was going on.
Right.
I talked to an Amish guy. He goes, yeah, I heard you guys had a cold or something for a while. And nothing changed in the Amish
Well, they're
world.
sort of sequestered, so yeah,
But I mean, think about that. If you're Amish, what changes in your world?
right. They
That's
don't
true.
even have buttons
Yeah, I mean, it's
or zippers.
Yeah, they don't have zippers. Like that. I mean, think about it. Oh, the TV's out. We don't have news. The Amish go, yeah, it's called Monday. We look outside. It's raining. We put something on to keep the water off of us.
How do we get the podcast to the Amish? Man?
Yeah, we
I don't
got
know.
it all right. I have it sent in Sanskrit or something. I don't even know what that means. But no, I do. I think the Amish would be in a great place if that happens.
Of course. I mean, they know
Yeah.
how to survive. Yeah. Off the land. That's what we would all have to relearn how to do.
You think you could do it?
I am when I go down YouTube rabbit holes,
Yeah.
I love all that
you
stuff. I
think
love
you can?
survival. I mean, I think I've learned some things on how to do some things.
Do you go camping?
Whether or not I could do it is a whole nother thing.
Have you been camping?
I've been camping. I like camping.
I went
but-
once.
Yeah.
Yeah,
What do you think?
I couldn't get a fire going hot
No.
enough to cook bacon.
It's harder than people think. That's another thing.
So
Can
I'll-
we get a fire started?
I gotta tell
I
you.
was like, well, the wood was wet. Apparently,
Right.
They sold me wet wood there on the whatever state park.
So you're at a disadvantage,
But
already.
like, I was sitting there thinking, oh my god, like if I had to feed myself, feed my family,
and it rained. It just rained.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
what?
What
the
are you gonna
hell am
do?
I gonna do?
Yeah.
Man, I
What are
need-
you going to do in the middle of the woods when you have to go find
Yeah.
dinner for your
I'm-
entire
I'm
family?
a city boy.
Yeah. I'm going to lose a lot of weight. That'll be a good
Yeah,
thing.
yeah.
You know?
I think that eventually what's going to happen is that there is going to be a huge,
Cataclysmic event.
yeah. I mean, and we may cause it. It may be a civil war. It may be war.
Some kind of political unrest.
Somebody, yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
and people are going to, the
something by surprise might happen. They're talking about the core of the Earth is doing some weird stuff
Yeah.
that scientists can't explain.
Yeah.
Well, they
Who
say
knows?
that a pole shift happens every 27,000 years, and we are overdue for that to happen.
Now, is that-
that is happening.
Yeah.
we are moving slowly,
Yeah, the
right?
GPS,
But when
GPS
it
is
goes
moving,
down,
yeah.
it goes down.
Oh.
I mean,
When it
In a big way.
does the
Yeah,
pole
yeah.
like literally just one day we wake up
It
and
flips.
get
it just
thrown out of
flips.
bed?
It flips.
But do we get thrown out of bed? Like does the Earth spin?
It's a catastrophic
We're all dead.
earthly event.
We're all-
I mean, I don't know about everybody, but it's going to be bad. Yeah.
So why don't we just get out of here now? Like why don't we just?
Well,
leave?
that's why space exploration is so important. You know, I mean, one day we are going to have to leave this planet if we're going to survive as a human species.
But we're not going to get out. We're not going to be getting tickets on those.
No,
you don't think so?
No.
It'd be like the Titanic will be the band. John will be the band
Yeah.
playing.
No,
as,
we won't even be that. We'll be on the guys sitting on our front porch going, "Man, they have a chance. They have a chance."
It'll be Elon and his 150 kids.
Right.
Yeah, well, the rate he's going, I think he's trying to populate Mars now.
Yeah.
By the way, I know that like a lot of people with the Elon thing with all the political stuff go crazy. Here's my new thing with him. I think he's one of the most interesting human beings that ever lived. I don't know anything about him, but if he gets us to Mars, I can forgive him for getting rid of some aid we were giving away, I guess. I mean, I don't know. These guys are insane. When you get that rich and you have that kind of money and you can literally have a conversation that starts like this, we're going to go to Mars next year. And everybody in the room goes, yeah, okay, that makes sense. It's a weird thing to me.
Yeah.
You know,
It's gonna need to happen at some point in human history. So, Mick, tell me if you would, what would you do on this flight? I know you don't like to fly. This could make it worse. Some Southwest passengers flying from Philly to Chicago had a rough flight the other day. As the plane was landing, a passenger stripped down and pooped on her seat.
Wow.
She
right
went,
there on the seat.
Yeah, she went excremental. A female passenger on a Southwest Airlines flight to Chicago allegedly stripped down naked, pooped on her seat as the plane landed, and police officers were called to Chicago's Midway Airport on Saturday. Flight 418 from Philadelphia arrived with one passenger, shocking the cabin by taking off her clothes and emptying her bowels on a plane seat, according to NBC. Our teams are reaching out to those on board to apologize for the situation and any delay to their travel plane, Southwest said.
I mean, it's insane to
Sure,
me.
Captain speaking.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, it's your captain speaking. You
We
know,
gotta-
we're going to
we
be a
gotta-
while, so if you got to go, let's do it now. All right, before we take off, we can clean up and get this out of here. It's insane to me.
We got a code brown over on 11C right
Brown.
now.
Code Brown. John, what's that? Have you ever seen like a weird, like just somebody does something and you're like, I can't believe that person did that, like in front of you?
Nothing like that. I
No?
don't think. No.
Thankfully, huh?
Well, yeah, I guess it was you one time, but I don't think you want me telling that story.
Oh, go ahead. What the hell? I got to lose now. Ridiculous.
Remember Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah.
Remember her?
No, I don't. Shut up, because I don't know what you're going to say. I could get myself in all kind of trouble. I have no idea. I think I got knocked off my Facebook page, by the way. I don't know why. We're still on yours and YouTube and everything else, but I think my Facebook page got knocked down. It's
All
weird.
right, well, that's a bummer.
Might have been because I played that song. You know how weird they are.
You did it on the wrong phone, didn't you?
No. I did it on ours.
Okay.
I did.
Wow.
Yeah,
All right,
I don't know what
why that would've
happened.
knocked you
It's
off.
not even letting me go live right now, but it doesn't matter because we're still on yours and
on YouTube.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening, but we're going to keep going.
All right. Well, people wagered over $325,000 on the world's first sperm race. The world's first sperm race happened in L.A. Friday night with a student from USC going up against a student from UCLA. People wagered a combined $329,000 on the site polymarket.com, and the guy from USC won. But here's the thing. Not everyone thinks the footage shown in the live stream was legit, though.
Why?
Did you watch that video I sent you?
No, I didn't get it.
Well, they did a portion of it where they kind of they made it look like electrified graphics for a little bit. They showed like the real sperm race, and then they electrified it. So there's just some question, I think, as to how real it was.
Now, how do you feel about that? Like, gambling on sperm races.
I mean, it's ridiculous. But look, they made $325,000 doing this. Who am I to criticize that?
No,
right?
I'm with you. I'm totally with you. I don't know what happened here with Facebook.
They said it was a big hit with the crowd. They loved it, and they kind of talked about it like it was. It had like a WrestleMania vibe to it. If you watch that commercial, the crowd was pumped. The announcers were screaming.
Who won?
It was a guy from USC won.
USC college.
Yeah. It was like the two rival colleges going head to head.
And USC,
Yeah.
the Trojans,
Yeah.
had the fastest sperm.
How apropos.
Yeah, how apropos. By the way, I shouldn't talk about this, but I shouldn't. I'm going to change my mind. It was about condoms.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, this is a personal question. You ever use them in your personal life?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Nowadays, when most women, they just take medicine or whatever, they get it fixed or but not always, right? So you got, and I forgot how inconvenient they really are, right?
Yeah.
When's the last time you had to use a condom?
Oh, I don't know, Mick.
Years? I don't. So my point is this: recently had to use one. Not a
for
fan.
you.
Not
Good
a
for you.
fan. Not a fan. The condom was
I don't
fine.
think anybody's a fan.
No, it's weird though, because you're like in the middle of it,
Yeah.
and then it's like, hold on, just be a second. I don't know. It made me think of that. Just 1 minute. I might need some help. I might need some.
Wait a second. Oh, turn it over.
Yeah, it was inside out. It was nothing wrong. We've all been there. Oh my God, it's the worst.
Easter, this guy kind of ruined Easter. There's a drug dealer who hid weed in plastic eggs as an Easter promo, and a kid found one.
That's the golden egg right there.
Accused drug dealer in East Texas is facing charges after police said he filled at least 5 plastic Easter eggs with weed and hid them for customers to find. It happened in Texas, about 120 miles northeast of Houston. Guy's name is Avante Nicholson, and cops found out after he posted photos of the eggs on Facebook. He told people that whoever shopped with him that day would get hints revealing where the eggs were hidden. Police found 4 of them. The 5th egg was found in a park by a man and his granddaughter the day after Easter. Most of them were hidden in parks. Cops also found at least 1 egg behind a Motel 6.
That's incredible.
Yeah. That's what Snoop Dogg does every weekend, I'm sure. Right?
Weed and eggs.
Him and Willie Nelson.
They're going to be great together.
Yeah.
All right, man. Listen, what about, we got any more, Matt?
We do. We can do more. What have you
Let's
guys
do
wanna
one more.
All right. Well,
We're just off that my Facebook channel went off. I don't know.
I'll give you some choices here.
All right.
Let's see. There's a letter written on board the Titanic before it sank that is just sold at auction. There's a skeleton.
Wait. Did it escaped the Titanic sinking though, right?
No, they sent it. They actually sent it from the Titanic before it sank.
Like by courier?
I guess. However they did it in those days
By
in
pigeon?
1912.
Like how did you do that then? Like if you're at sea?
Well, let's see. A letter card penned by one of the Titanic's most well-known survivors from on board the ship, but days before it sank, has sold for £300,000, which is about $400,000 at auction. In the note written to the seller's great uncle on April 10th, 1912, first-class passenger Archibald Gracie wrote of the ill-fated steamship. He said, quote, "It is a fine ship, but I shall await my journey's end before I pass judgment on her."
Wow.
The letter was sold for a private collector from the United States on Saturday, according to the auction house. The letter is believed to be the sole example in existence from Gracie from on board the Titanic, which sank off of Newfoundland after hitting an iceberg, killing about 1,500 people in its maiden voyage. This guy also wrote a book. It's supposed to be the most detailed account of the ship sinking.
He was on it when I'm confused.
He survived by hopping on a boat. He wrote a book about it, and it's the most detailed account of the ship sinking.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I watched a great, one of them History Channel things about how that boat really sank and the way it split. And then man, that's got to be brutal to be on something like that.
Yeah.
I don't, would you rather be on the Titanic or an airplane going?
Probably Titanic.
I think I would too.
I don't know, man. The airplane is just you're going to get it done much more quickly than floating around in the cold ocean water for
You're
30 minutes
it's
before
not-
you die.
It's not that long, dude.
in the dark. I mean,
It's
how
not.
freaky scary would that be? It's at nighttime. You're in this freezing cold ocean. There's stuff floating
But there's
beneath
hope.
you.
Here's when there's no help.
Yeah.
You're going straight down at 500 miles an hour and hitting a mountain.
Well, right. But I thought
There's
the question
no
was
escape.
if you're going to die in one of these disasters.
Yeah, I think I'd rather, like John, I'd rather have the mental belief that there's a chance somebody's going to come any second and pull me out of this and save me. I think knowing I'm going to die, that's just going to be horrible.
I don't know, man. That plane is going to go wah, boom, and your lights are out just like that. I'm guessing. I don't know.
I hope that is. I'm afraid of heights. I hate flying.
Yeah.
I get scared that if this show works and I got to travel, I'm not going far. I mean, if this show needs to be bigger than the tri-state
We'll
area,
Uber, man. We'll Uber.
yeah, I'm gonna have to Uber to Grand Rapids because I don't want to fly.
Get a big old RV like
Yeah, that's
Did
what we
you
do.
enjoy
Right.
the road?
what time period?
Well, I mean, did you ever enjoy it
Yeah.
when you were young? You
Oh,
liked
yeah.
being out on the road.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the longest you were gone? Do you know?
Oh, I don't
Were you
know.
ever gone 3 months, 4 months?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
And you see no home, no friends, nothing, just the guys you're with.
Well, I think sporadically we would come home here and there, but
Right.
yeah, I joined SR in like the February before we jumped on the Joey tour, so that was like February, March, April, May. That's 4 months, and then we did some shows in June, Asia Festival, and then we went to Germany, but we were
Yeah.
home for a couple of days before Germany.
Yeah, I don't know if I would enjoy the road like that. I don't know if I would. I mean, there I would. You're certain, but if you're going, you're going around the country and you're getting down the south and a lot of those, no water states with not a lot going on. Is there a lot of hours where you're just driving to the plains and just flat?
Yeah, there are states that are really like nothing is happening there. It's cornfields forever.
Right,
Like
yeah.
Kansas and Iowa and
Yeah.
Nebraska.
Right.
It's like okay, all right, seen this.
Yeah,
For sure.
Yeah.
When Manicots and Sorrow broke, it broke in Colorado Springs and Denver and Spokane and
So you had a little Pacific Northwest.
that's like it's mountain area. So I've driven through Wyoming like so many times, it's just to cut through that state to get to Salt Lake and Spokane and
That's just flat nothing, right?
no, it's actually
that's real high
it's
up.
really beautiful.
Oh, it's high
Yeah.
up. Oh, yeah.
It's beautiful, but man, everything is so few and far between.
Yeah.
You better make sure you got
Mm.
gas, and you make sure that you have a hotel room booked if it's a Saturday night, because if you're trying to check in after midnight, you ain't
Sleeping in the van.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're not-
nobody home,
you're not
dude.
getting-
Yeah.
Yeah, it ain't nobody there.
Right.
It's
But
pretty
yeah.
wild. What's the most beautiful place on tour you ever saw? I know you and your wife have traveled
Yeah.
and go, but on tour, where's somewhere where you literally like stop the bus and we're like, wow, did that ever happen?
Well, coming back on that run, I was just referencing, we drove through Montana. That was really, really
Yeah, I
pretty.
heard Montana's just
Really beautiful.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
That's
I
where
mean,
Nikki Sixx is living now, I believe, right?
he lives in Wyoming.
Oh, is it Wyoming? It's Wyoming,
Yeah,
right?
Wyoming
a lot of
is
those
beautiful as
guys,
well.
those actors and music, they like said, all right, give me some ranch, give me some land.
Yeah.
I'm sick of people.
Well, he did it during COVID too,
Yeah,
I think.
yeah.
Well, and
Yeah.
Wyoming's really tax friendly for like the tax
Ah,
shelter.
Yeah.
So that's I think another reason why.
So if
you
I
would
go
move
there, I could save 40, 50 cents a year. Probably as beneficial as
You
they
and me
are.
both, brother.
Yeah, I need my whole life savings in there and give me change. John, listen, man, I want to have you more than just once. You
Heck
know,
yeah.
I know it's a drive, bro.
It's not bad.
Spread
I
the
am-
word for us. Get it out there that we're doing this. John, I'm a huge fan as well. We're brothers.
Thank you, man.
But I think it's important for people to remind each other, we don't get a lot of breaks in the world. And when you meet talented, good people, it's to be celebrated. You know what I mean? And I find that celebrating people's achievements, we always save it for the Academy Awards or the Grammys. And I'm like,
Or a funeral.
yeah, or a funeral. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it's weird. Like, he was so great, so, God forbid, I never
Yeah,
want to
man.
go to your
Right.
funeral, bro. But if, I want to tell you this stuff while you're alive.
Yeah.
and all my friends.
I
You know,
appreciate it, man.
yeah, it's
Love you,
incredible.
bro.
I love you too, man. And thanks. Stone Horses do people do websites anymore? Or
Yeah, we got a website.
is it stonehorses.com?
It's stonehorsesmusic.com.
Did somebody already have Stone Horses?
Yeah.
What a dick.
Somebody's selling like little
Stone Horses.
trinkets. Yeah.
Go to stonehorses.com right
Is it
now. Just
really?
harass the crap out of them.
Hold on. I'm doing this live. I'm going to look this up right now. So stonehorses.com is not it, but Stone Horses
Music.com
will take
is the
you
one
to
you
John.
want.
I'm going to whoever this asshole is that builds little miniature stone
Somebody that's
horses.
just got a small
Oh, look at
business.
this idiot. Stole John's name. I don't even know if I can get this on camera.
I think they had it first.
Yeah, but it's a dumb idea. How many people need a
It's a bad
stone
name.
horse? I've never once in my life
They
thought,
literally sell stone horses.
let me tell you, I've been driving in my car and I thought, you know what I need? I need a good song right now.
Yeah.
Right. And it worked. But I've never been driving and thought, you know, if I just had a stone miniature pony sitting on my dashboard, this drive. Anyway, no, the Stone Horses music. John, you defy logic with no, I'm watching you on stage, man. You defy logic. You defy it all. You're an incredibly talented guy. Honored to call you a friend.
Thank you, man.
And
Me
thanks
too.
for doing it. So check out Stone Horses. Did you want to say anything else?
Yeah, and I feel the same way about you, bro. But yeah, Saturday, come out to
Oh, M3.
come out. Yeah,
Jesus, I forgot.
know, we-
That's the main thing.
yeah, yeah.
weather's gonna be
What time are
great.
you guys playing, John?
We're on at 2:10,
Okay.
so usually I lie to people and tell them earlier, so they
Right.
make
Sure.
sure they get
1:30.
Just get there
Yeah.
when they open.
Child's Play at 1:30.
You know
Yes.
what's funny is you are going to blow. Like I saw some of them other guys on the line. It's nice. I'm glad you're still around.
Yeah.
But I don't know why in Maryland they don't put you. You should be like third or fourth from the end,
Wow.
not at 2:15 in the afternoon.
It is what it is, and we're happy to be there. And yeah, man, we'll get the party started.
You guys should handle like the new Friday night kickoff party where Kicks was before. It should be Child's Play now.
that would be cool,
That
man.
would be
Speaking
cool.
of which, I do want to say this. For those of you that are sad that Kicks is gone, we all are. I mean,
Mhm.
but Child's Play to me, it's like Kicks and then Child's Play. That's my order of Baltimore favorite bands.
Yeah, man.
And so, like, are you gonna do the Christmas show again this year or that late year show?
Hopefully, we'll do another show this year,
Yeah.
either September or Christmas. Yeah.
Awesome. I love going. The songs are still fun. John, always a pleasure.
Great.
Thanks
Great to be
for
here, man.
being here and tell your lovely wife and children I said hello. Everyone else, we're back tomorrow. Do we know who's on the show
Yeah,
tomorrow?
we've got mentalist Alon New who is going to be joining us tomorrow.
Yeah, we're gonna find out all kind of weird stuff, right?
Yeah, well, he may bend silverware with his mind for you tomorrow. He's got some cool stuff he
Really?
wants to do for you.
I love being entertained, dude.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Can't wait too. It's gonna
All
be great.
right. Anything else we gotta cover?
Absolutely follow, I should say subscribe to the YouTube channel. And please share if you're on Facebook and you're digging the show. Please share it on Facebook. Helps us out big time. And your Venmo.
Yeah, Venmo at Michael Coachella. Yeah, it's all going to equipment, stuff we need for here, advertising.
Cheeseburgers.
You know, we got to eat too. But yeah, at Michael Coachella. It's I apologize. We got cut off during Facebook today. We lost signal. I didn't even know it. But
That's right. It's available everywhere. The
yeah, it
podcasts
was
are
on
found now. It'll
everywhere.
be on YouTube.
Yep.
So they'll be able to find the whole show.
Everybody, thanks. We'll see you tomorrow at 5. We do it every day, Monday through Friday. Mickey Talks. And please, big thank you to Barnes Paving. See you guys. Bye-bye.